If you're expecting a detailed explanation of what is happening between Adore and HYBE, I highly recommend getting informed about the entire case and how multiple K-pop groups are being affected. This is a channel dedicated to BTS, so we'll heavily focus on the current smear campaign against BTS as a result of this corporate conflict. But there is so much more to this story. This video will only address one of the many consequences of this conflict and is mainly directed at BTS's fans' army. First, some necessary background. HYBE is a company known for its multi-label system. That means that they own multiple music labels. Some labels already existed before and HYBE bought them, while others were created from scratch. Mingi Jin was an SM executive for 17 years before moving to HYBE, where she was supposed to create and manage a girl group under the sub-label Source Music. However, HYBE gave her the opportunity to create her own group under a new label with a capital funding of 16.1 billion won. So Mingi Jin was appointed as the CEO of the new label Adore, and she formed the group New Jeans. This way, she owns 18% of Adore, while 80% belongs to HYBE. However, HYBE has recently requested Mingi Jin to resign from her CEO position because they have secured evidence of her planning to take over management rights of Adore on a secret plan titled Project 1945, named after South Korea's independence year. According to HYBE, Mingi Jin and Adore's vice president, Mr. A, were planning to leave HYBE and become independent by wrongfully obtaining and leaking private HYBE contracts, company data, health records and pictures of artists, and more sensitive internal information with outside financial investors and sources. HYBE claims that their internal investigation showed that Adore's vice president played an important role in the leaking of these documents by moving from HYBE to Adore and bringing with him key information that could make Project 1945 possible. And this plan would have included blackmailing HYBE. As a response to these and many more accusations, Mingi Jin released a statement and then made a press conference where she denied most accusations in tears and accused HYBE of different things. Among these accusations, she said that HYBE and chairman Ban Shi-hyuk helped the sub-label Believe Lab copy her group New Jeans while creating their new group Islet. In her official statement, Mingi Jin said, "Islet is copying New Jeans in all aspects of entertainment activities, including hair, makeup, clothing, choreography, photos, videos, and event appearances." So Adore states that all Mingi Jin is doing is protecting these factors from being plagiarized. They refer to these factors as New Jeans' cultural achievements. Mingi Jin also stated that promoting Islet as New Jeans' junior group or New Jeans' younger sister group is unacceptable, ignoring the fact that New Jeans was also promoted as BTS's younger sister group. Moreover, Mingi Jin accuses Ban Shi-hyuk of ignoring her complaints about Islet and says that these complaints are the reason why HYBE wants her out of Adore. But Islet is not the only group. Mingi Jin and Adore reportedly attempted to gather evidence that groups Islet, Duo Su, and Rise plagiarized New Jeans. A HYBE insider said that one of the priorities part of HYBE's internal investigation involved Mingi Jin interviewing agency staff members of these three rookie groups and monitoring public opinion in online communities to strengthen their case that those groups plagiarized New Jeans. In contrast, Adore stated that such claims are completely unfounded. Apparently, titles are very important for Mingi Jin. She claims that the group Les Seraphim stole the momentum of the first HYBE girl group that was supposedly promised to her.
성진님이랑 회의실을 잡아서 무슨 일인데요? 그랬더니 희진님 저희 그 하이브 첫 번째 걸그룹 지금 준비하던 이 팀은 소스 차기 걸그룹으로 나가야 될 것 같습니다. 그 소스에서 그 사쿠라 김채원을 필두로 한 새로운 그룹을 첫 번째로 내게 됐어요. 라고 저한테 통보를 하는 거예요. 그래서 내가 그 당시에도 제가 솔직히 말하면 좀 쌍욕을 했었어요. 지원님한테. 너네 양아치냐? 왜 약속 깨냐?
HYBE accuses a third person of being involved. HYBE alleges that Adore's vice president requested a foreign securities analyst to review the outline of the independence plan and arrange a meeting with a foreign investor to facilitate the sale of Adore. Initially, the claim about this investor was that he went to South Korea for a HYBE meeting, but this third person made sure the investor talked to Adore executives prior to the HYBE meeting. Chat logs between Adore's vice president and Mingi Jin reveal revealed that Adore did meet this foreign investor. A newer development being reported from the first day in court is that this was not just a foreign investor. Reportedly, Min Hee-jin actually met the chairman of the company Dunamu and Naver officials over dinner to propose her takeover plans and pressure HYBE to abandon Adore. This is a bigger deal than Min Hee-jin talking to a random foreign investor, because Naver holds 49% of the shares of HYBE's waivers company, and Dunamu is the third largest shareholder in HYBE, and they have the right to nominate directors. So if there are executives who could pressure HYBE to abandon Adore, it would be them. The investors knew that this could be a massive conflict of interest, so they were the ones to report this meeting. Additionally, HYBE claims that the third person involved was the one to propose civil actions against other labels and HYBE corporate. Adore's vice president has denied any involvement with an independence plan and admitted that the 1945 files do exist but are just his personal thoughts. Min Hee-jin also denies the accusations. She refuses to resign or turn in her company laptop and says that her conversations about independence were not serious because she knows seizing control would be impossible. She also adds that her contract has contradictions and this bounds her to HYBE forever. I recommend reading more about these accusations and the responses by HYBE and Min Hee-jin, because there's a lot more about this case and there's new information every day. Project 1945 involves multiple HYBE groups and way more accusations against HYBE and Adore. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I only wanted to explain the basics necessary to show how BTS became part of this conflict, because this is a BTS channel. Although BTS has nothing to do with this conflict, they are now in the middle of everything. HYBE claims to have secured a conversation of Min Hee-jin talking to a shaman about her project 1945 and BTS. Snippets of the conversation were released in the form of a forensic transcript. So apparently, this shaman chose the name Adore for the label, helped Min Hee-jin choose her employees and take over plans, and did witchcraft on HYBE executives and BTS. The conversation shows that the shaman did witchcraft to send BTS away because it would benefit Min Hee-jin if BTS weren't here. HYBE claims that Min Hee-jin also discussed BTS's military service with Adore's vice president on February 4th. They mentioned BTS not being able to return for a year, and because this makes the company weak, Ban Shi-hyuk can be finished off. As part of the process of trying to hurt HYBE through BTS, Min Hee-jin also tried to contact the accountant who manages BTS with no apparent reason. So Min Hee-jin was doing all the preparations and waiting for the moment when the 7 members were gone. But to do what exactly? In HYBE's forensic data, there is a record of Min Hee-jin's instruction to prepare for a public opinion campaign starting in April. April comes and the plan is exposed by HYBE, but all of the BTS members ended up going to the military, so Project 1945 starts as planned. First, according to HYBE's internal investigation, Min Hee-jin told an outsider that Chairman Ban Shi-hyuk is actually where he is right now because he copied her. She reportedly said, "In fact, he's copied from me and come this far," as well as Chairman Ban Shi-hyuk copied me and created BTS. Others say the translation is closer to Chairman Ban Shi-hyuk copied me and created a BTS. In any case, she completely denies to have said this. Many wonder what exactly she means when saying that BTS copied her. This is not a definitive answer, but many correlate the fact that starting in 2014, BTS were accused of copying an SM group about things as common as school uniforms. Min Hee-jin was working at SM at the time, so accusing everyone of plagiarism is not something new for her. But again, this is just an speculation to what she was referring to. Then April comes. HYBE asks Min Hee-jin to resign and the public opinion campaign is allegedly about to start. A wave of articles accusing BTS and other HYBE groups of different things starts being published by South Korean media. But BTS, of course, is the center of attention. BTS manipulates charts, buys awards, inflates sales, plagiarizes music, and even BTS is linked to a cult, one after the other and non-stop. Baseless rumors are published as serious accusations. This didn't stop for days. But let's look closely at these rumors. The The accusation that BTS manipulates their numbers started in 2015 because it was unbelievable that a group from a small company could outsell groups from the big three labels. The rumors were so prominent back then that BTS's label Big Hit was brought to court. Big Hit won and the case was terminated. Actually, the investigation made it obvious that BTS's growth was so organic that they started selling well since 2014 and slowly started outselling the big three in 2015. But the media was so centered around the big labels that they never reported about BTS's continuing growth. BTS climbed to the top very little by little, but because they were not from the big three, no one took them seriously. No one saw them as a threat and no one considered them real competition. Only when they started winning major awards against big three groups, the media and fans of the big three started accusing BTS of paying for their achievements. But like this investigation showed, BTS's numbers only seemed as a surprise because of all the media play surrounding the big three. BTS legally cleaned their name, but this smear campaign was horrific. These accusations from 9 years ago are now being resurfaced for no reason and almost in the form of spam. Some are even asking for a new investigation to happen, although there are no reasons for a new investigation. To this day, all of BTS's numbers make sense. They made sense then and they make sense now. Their numbers of album sales, streams, and tour crowds have always matched. BTS's numbers are massive because they truly have a massive audience. And you can actually see this audience in their sold-out stadium tours, or even random events where BTS is not even present. Their fans always show up. This cannot be said about some of the biggest groups in K-pop. Their numbers don't always match. They have millions of album sales, but very few streams. They have millions of sales, but struggle to sell out concerts that are supposed to meet their sales numbers. But of course, there's no investigation for them. The same way, rumors about BTS plagiarizing music, concepts, and more are being reported by South Korean media out of nowhere, just like in 2014 and 2016. But once again, these accusations are years old and they have already won every single one of their cases. This is not being reported by South Korean media, only the rumors are. A new rumor being shared is that BTS is part of a religious cult because the university they attended has used BTS's image for promotion, and the founder of the university is allegedly linked to a cult. Although multiple idols from multiple labels have attended and promoted this same online university, only BTS are the ones being accused of being part of a cult. As a response, Big Hit, the university, and even the organization accused of being a cult have released statements saying that BTS has nothing to do with them. But once again, the validity of the accusations are not the point of this smear campaign. HYBE showed in court a conversation in which Min Hee-jin says the following: "Whether the Fair Trade Commission investigates or not, all we need is a headline." This is nothing more than a public opinion campaign. By damaging the image of BTS, the public starts doubting the actions of HYBE as a company, and many take Min Hee-jin's side. More importantly, by putting BTS's name in every headline at any cost, the accusations against Min Hee-jin and HYBE take a backseat. When I first heard about K-pop, there was a misconception shared by the international general public. K-pop is a project created and promoted by the South Korean government. Although I didn't instantly and fully believe this idea, it did create a misleading picture of who BTS is, because BTS is undeniably the most recognizable name from South Korea. From the international point of view, it's easy to perceive BTS as this beloved and heavily promoted group by not only the K-pop industry, but also by the South Korean media and government. They are proud of BTS, so of course they wouldn't instantly believe these baseless rumors, right? This cannot be further from the truth. Like this 2015 investigation proved, BTS was a surprise for the K-pop industry and not a pleasant one. The K-pop industry maintained a well-established hierarchy of power. The big three companies, run by businessmen with not only a lot of money but with a lot of power, created an industry in which they are always at the top. Their groups were the only ones that could truly compete to be the most popular because their groups are the only ones being promoted by the media. This was always like this, no exceptions. This was until BTS appeared and completely destroyed the pattern. When BTS debuted in 2013, their label Big Hit was not even a medium label like many others. It was a very small company that was close to bankruptcy. BTS was their last chance of surviving in the industry, and as you know now, it worked. Because BTS didn't have opportunities in South Korean mainstream media, they heavily relied on social media, and a strategy the K-pop industry dismissed because they already owned the narrative. They already owned South Korea's media and public. But BTS's genuine social media presence helped them gain a worldwide following so big that surpassed every K-pop label combined. In other words, BTS did not, does not, and will never rely on traditional media. With this context, it's easier to understand why the industry is so open to entertain and even promote negative rumors against the biggest moneymaker in the K-pop industry. They are willing to do all of this because they don't have power over BTS. The funny thing is that HYBE doesn't have power over BTS either, so they shouldn't be part of this conflict at all. Out of all the sub-labels, Big Hit Music is the only independent and unlisted label in HYBE. In theory, HYBE and Adore can destroy each other to pieces, and Big Hit would survive. But that is not really the point. The downfall of HYBE is an opportunity to proclaim the downfall of BTS and the rise of the Big Three, as things should be. It's the same story from the Western music industry. The Big Three creates, promotes, and celebrates its own artists. Everyone else is treated as an obstacle. South Korean media, in particular, is very salty about BTS becoming the most successful group without their help, so they are more than willing to share baseless rumors. But it's only them. As you can see, the legal battle between HYBE and Min Hee-jin is being reported by international media, but the smear campaign against BTS is not. This is because the legal battle is real, but the rumors against BTS come from nothing and have no evidence, so there's no single accusation to take seriously. These old Twitter accounts with 0 followers are not sources. The only ones who are willing to take these comments as serious accusations are South Korean media. And again, this is not new. It happens to BTS a lot because they are the biggest quote-unquote enemy. But South Korean media has previously facilitated smear campaigns against multiple artists. One example I think it's important to talk about is the smear campaign against Tablo from the group Epic High, because he's one of the few who have been very outspoken about it. Random people online accuse Tablo of lying about graduating from Stanford University. These random online accusations became front-page news in South Korea. Tablo posted his university transcripts, but South Korean netizens did not believe him, and the accusations only intensified. So Tablo visited Stanford University and made a documentary in which he had the university registrar reprint his documents, while Stanford professors attested to the validity of the documents, all on camera. Additionally, the university and the police provided proof that he graduated from Stanford. But like I said before, it doesn't matter how ridiculous the accusations are. It doesn't matter how much proof you give or how many investigations you win. Smear campaigns in South Korea are aggressive and there's nothing to stop them. Tablo said, Black Mirror wasn't out yet, but I felt like this was some horror sci-fi thing where the entire country I had been living in collectively agreed to basically mind me. Nothing I would say would be accepted as truth, and they have collectively agreed to be delusional. It's either they are delusional, all of them, or I'm delusional. Can you understand now why the current smear campaign against BTS, as silly as it sounds, is mentally draining for BTS and the fandom? BTS confessed that the previous smear campaigns against them nearly made them break up.
이 상을 받아도 울었을 거고 안 받아도 울었을 것 같아요. 올해는 너무 많은 고생을 했기 때문에
저희가 올해를 보내오면서 조금 힘든 일들도 있을 수도 있잖아요. 저희가 그런 일들을 겪어오면서 저희끼리 모여서 얘기하면서 뒤돌아보는 시간들이 좀 있었던 것 같아요.
올해 초에 저희가 되게 심적으로 많이 힘들었었어요. 그래서 저희끼리 얘기를 하면서 해체를 할까 말까 고민도 했고
근데 다시 마음을 정말 다잡고
Just like Taulo said, it was exhausting for BTS to deny and win their cases, all for the smear campaigns to continue.
뭐 언급하지 않아도 팬분들이 다 아실 텐데 아 그게 아닌데 하면서도 엄청 속상하고 그랬거든요.
Now the BTS members are not even here to defend themselves. Now it's the most convenient time for these accusations to be spread. So, do you really think this is not a planned attack, part of the public opinion campaign from April? Do you really think being discovered would stop her plan after doing witchcraft and planning for this exact moment?
서로가 서로 전부 믿었기에 What you say yeah. 오늘은 안 죽어도
BTS cannot defend themselves because right now they are not civilians. They are enlisted in the military, and Mi Hee-jin knew this. According to forensic data, she waited for the exact range of time when all the 7 members wouldn't be present to start her independence plan. So although they cannot respond as civilians right now, BTS's response through their label is that because this is a movement that has become excessive, they are now engaging with a new separate legal team especially dedicated to sue every person defaming and slandering them. Big Hit even said that it won't matter if the people defaming BTS retract their words by eliminating their comments or articles. That's how serious they are taking this case, and that's how bad the comments are. We can already see some of the results, as certain media outlets are firing writers and systematically deleting posts. However, many feel like this is not enough. BTS will come back and the media will appropriate their achievements once again while ignoring all the damage they helped create. Just like always, the South Korean entertainment industry will ask BTS to represent them and promote K-pop as a whole whenever they have the opportunity. Remember that the South Korean government not only investigated BTS back then, but also pushed BTS to represent the country multiple times. BTS wanted to start their military service around the summer of 2022, but the government begged them to become ambassadors for the World Expo 2030, to the point of contacting the parents of the BTS members so they could convince them. Again, for the media and the public, BTS had to accept. BTS canceled their plans of starting their military service during the summer. They accepted to become ambassadors and perform a free concert to help South Korea win the bid for the World Expo. They changed all of their plans just for the government to leave the responsibility of the concert to BTS. If the concert was a disorganized mess or ended up in tragedy, you can guess who the media would blame. So BTS had no other choice but pay themselves to have a safe, free concert for their government. When is this going to stop? Will South Korea ever have the backs of BTS, or will they forever be jealous of the group that didn't need them to succeed? Without getting alarmed, you need to know this. Out of all these smear campaigns against BTS, this is one of the worst ones. Maybe not the worst, but it's definitely one of the most baseless and aggressive. And we need to expect more rumors to come in the upcoming weeks because Mi Hee-jin and HYBE have been in court for just one day. All kinds of accusations against the biggest group in the world are normal. But now it's an organized effort and BTS are not here to defend themselves. BTS has cleaned their name time and time again with previous smear campaigns. They have defeated every single accusation, but that doesn't matter. By creating new rumors and bringing all the previous accusations at once, even if they are 100% debunked, BTS's image is put in question. The accusations will be on the front pages, and that's all they need. In times like this, there's no general public who will listen and applaud them. All they're going to do is jump on the hate train like they always do. Because the media is spreading this hate campaign so aggressively and the general public is consuming these rumors, the only ones who can defeat these narratives are the fandom. So now more than ever, it's important to bring back the small fandom mindset we had in previous smear campaigns. Aggressive rumors are only defeated with aggressive support. That's the only thing that can drown the rumors right now. That was the force that made BTS survive their previous smear campaigns and become as big as they are now. BTS had no one in the industry supporting them, and for new fans who met BTS as mainstream BTS, it can be hard to accept that to this day, BTS continues lacking industry support. And BTS has clearly said that they wanted to break up in 2018 because they couldn't stand this treatment. So please take this smear campaign seriously. We know that BTS will be celebrated as a nation's pride when they come back in 2025. They will be asked to represent the country and their achievements will be considered K-pop's achievements. But don't forget this moment. Just like with the smear campaigns from 2015, 2017, and 2018, let BTS know that we are here and we know the truth.
Never